Hola, Colorado Realtors. Bienvenidos a Legal Bites desde Guadalajara, Mexico. Beautiful Guadalajara. That's all I got. It's a fun word to say, though. Guadalajara. Try it sometime. Welcome, Colorado Realtors, to another edition of Legal Bites. I said we're back on the road. We're doing this again from the road. We've been to Switzerland. We've been to Niagara Falls. We've been in the car office, but we got out of the car office, and here we are in Guadalajara, Mexico, to handle this next edition. On today's edition of Legal Bites, we're going to be talking about something that's coming up a lot lately, and I think it's a little bit declining market, a little bit softer market, less transaction volume overall, unfortunately. We're getting more brokers that are making inquiries about what do I do when I want to leave my brokerage firm? How do I go about this? And the discussion always goes something like this. I want to kind of summarize it for you because it is something that's coming up a little bit more often. Not that I'm encouraging anybody to leave your brokerage firm, but sometimes change is good. Who knows? So what do you do? Remember, when you've got exclusive rights to buy or sell brokerage relationships, those agreements, those are with between the consumer and the brokerage firm. They're not between you individually and the consumer. Even though it's your relationship, maybe your friend or family member, whatever it might be, the actual legal contractual relationship exists between the brokerage firm and the consumer, not between you. You're just the designated broker on that. And what that means is essentially if you want to move that brokerage relationship to your new brokerage firm, it really needs to be done by the brokerage firm that you're leaving. They need to release that brokerage relationship to your new brokerage firm, or they're going to have to come up with some other accommodation for that consumer, the buyer or the seller. So you're in the situation where you've got an active exclusive right to buy or an active exclusive right to sell with a buyer or seller, and you say, hey, I'd like to take this with me. Well, that first discussion point is going to be with your employing or managing broker, supervising broker, whoever you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis at your brokerage firm that sort of acts on their behalf. And it's going to be kind of up to their policy. And maybe this is already articulated in your office policy manual, maybe it's part of your independent contractor agreement, but there's going to be some probably policy that the brokerage firm has that says, hey, when the broker leaves the brokerage firm, they can, or maybe they can't take that brokerage relationship with them. If they can, or if you can take that brokerage relationship with you, then what your brokerage firm is going to do is one of two ways that this could be accomplished. One way, of course, would be that your brokerage firm, through authorization to you, could terminate the existing brokerage relationship between the buyer or seller and the brokerage firm. That could be done through an amend extend to the brokerage agreement that would essentially just say the end date now is going to be today or tomorrow or whatever end date that's going to be. And once that end date is established and that is signed by the brokerage firm and signed by the consumer, the buyer or seller, whoever's agreement you're ending with that brokerage firm, it's effective upon that end date. And you've terminated that, and then that consumer could then go to your new brokerage firm and sign a new exclusive right agreement, buy or sell, with the new brokerage firm, and that would create a new brokerage relationship, and you could move on from that point. The other possibility would be that you use the amend extend to the broker agreement to effectively create some sort of an assignment document. And in that case, there's going to be three parties to that assignment document. It's still going to be the amend extend to the broker agreement, but you're going to have three parties. The three parties are going to be, one is your old brokerage firm. They're going to be the assignor. They're going to be assigning or releasing that consumer and that agreement to the new brokerage firm, the new brokerage firm is going to be the assignee, so they're going to sign, acknowledging their acceptance of that new brokerage relationship. And then, of course, you're going to need the third signature is going to be from the buyer or seller, the consumer, acknowledging that their brokerage relationship is moving from brokerage firm A to brokerage firm B. And in that case, you've effectively assigned that brokerage relationship. So there's two ways. In the brokerage relationship, start a new one at the new brokerage firm, or assign that brokerage relationship by creating kind of a three-way agreement. If you're at a larger brokerage firm, it's entirely possible that you've got a brokerage firm kind of form that accomplishes this as well. And so you would be using that form rather than amending the agreement to amend and extend a brokerage agreement. So use the form that you've got at your disposal in that situation. Now, in the situation where the brokerage firm says, no, we keep the brokerage relationship, we're not going to release that to the new brokerage firm. And again, that is in the election of the existing brokerage firm, what their policy or decision is on that. In that case, they're going to need to do an amend extend to the brokerage agreement to redesignate a new broker that's still at that old brokerage firm to be the designated broker for that buyer or seller in that situation. And that needs to be done so that that new broker can, on behalf of the old brokerage firm, start performing brokerage functions or services to that consumer at that point in time. But one or the other has to happen. Either that consumer's got to be released to the new brokerage firm in one of those two ways I mentioned, or a new broker needs to be designated to be able to be used or to be able to provide brokerage services from the old brokerage firm to the existing consumer. Anyhow, this has been coming up a lot, and I think that I wanted to throw this out there as a Legal Bites topic. Anytime we see an increase in hotline call volume, I'm a little dizzy from the tequila. Hotline call volume, I like to do a Legal Bites on that. Now, I'm going to get back to the business of me being in Mexico. I ordered my production assistant out to get me a taco, an authentic Mexican street taco, and they just don't get any better than this. I mean, you got to come to Mexico if you want that. Thank you very much, Jacob, my handy dandy assistant there. I don't know how that hat looks on you, Jacob, but keep rolling with it. We're in Mexico. Anyhow, I'm going to go enjoy my taco, friends, and thanks for joining me on another edition of Legal Bites. I got to tell you though, we're going back stateside for the next edition of Legal Bites. You're going to love this one. I'll break the news to you right here. We're going to Chicago to film the next edition of Legal Bites. Coming back to the States, getting out of this heat and humidity of Mexico. You're going to enjoy the next version as well, and I will too. See you on the next edition of Legal Bites, guys. Really cannot get tacos like this anywhere other than in Mexico. The seasoned, authentic Mexican ground beef, the Mexican cheddar cheese, shredded, beautiful. Oh, look at a little preview of the ground beef. The crisp lettuce, the shell. I figured Guadalajara would be more sunny. What's up with this?